if we have the beam right now. And I started to go down continuous configuration. As soon as I click on it, a form called continuous configuration rebar form opens up for me and a set of options appears. This set is what makes the process easier for me for lowering the rebars that we are about to insert into the beam in front of us. We will start to explain all of these properties. But let's assume that we pressed OK. The first thing I start to do is set the starting point. Then it asks me to set the end point, so I put it here in this spot. And then it asks me to enter the depth of the section I'm working in. So I start by setting the depth I'm working at, and we find that suddenly my rebar actually drops into the location I want. And depending on the value of overlap I'm working with, we'll see how to do this. And immediately it starts to place the second rebar for me. So I just go ahead and place my second rebar as usual. And I finish the process by press right click or press skip. And suddenly I find that the second rebar has actually closed with me in the L shape. And if we want to do the same option for the top reinforcement, we click on the same command. We'll go through all of these properties, just click OK and start doing the same thing at the top. For example, we select the point that is the top here. Then, for example, I come and stand here in the middle of the beam, for instance, and go down by the depth value of the beam. And we immediately see the same thing happen. Regarding the end condition of the configuration rebar that went down, it calculated the overlap value for me. It placed the next rebar and asked me to set the second rebar's location. For example, I put it here. Then it did the same, calculated the overlap and told me to place the third rebar. I put the third rebar like this. It told me to place the next rebar. It keeps going until you finish. It told me to place the next rebar, but I said I don't have another rebar. After that, I finished my task. It then carefully removed the temporary rebar and set the end condition for that specific configuration for L shape, ensuring the required cover value on the end side. And for the first rebar, it also ensured the cover value at the start. Of course, all these rebars meet the near cover from below and the far cover from above for the bottom rebars, and for the top, the cover is also satisfied and the near cover from below is also met. Or versa, the near cover of top will be above and the far cover will be below. Because, as we mentioned, the far cover is the distance from the distribution point or the direction point, that is the blue dot. So the far distance and the near distance are always measured from the start or end point, which in my case here is from the top. Of course, that's because this rebar is drawn upside down from top to bottom. But the bottom rebar is drawn the right way, from bottom to top. So this is the cover on the start point side, and the top is the far cover. And as I emphasize again, all the rebars we have now are just configuration rebars. They are exactly the same rebars as what we have here, which is this configuration rebars. But as we said, the wizard speeds up the process of using this configuration rebar by allowing us to input a set of rules, like for the diameter, the overlap, and all of these values. Then, based on these rules, it applies this configuration rebar to the beam or column I'm working on, and it adjusts all the overlap values for me. But in the end, this is a rebar configuration, and it has the same properties as the configuration. If we look at the object type, we'll see it's the same as the configuration rebar. It even shows I have two configurations here. So it's a configuration, and if I drag or place it anywhere, it's still a configuration, and the same properties, rules, and conditions of the continuous configuration apply. All it did was speed up the process of placing this object in the section I have.